Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to be seeing how to build an application in Visual Studio, and we will be connecting that application to a database in Azure, and all this will be based on the new version, the new ASP.NET 6.0 and 7.0. So let me share my screen. I'll be going to Visual Studios straight away. Yeah, so this is Visual Studio. I think let me start with my motivation for this video. So I have a couple of projects that are based on the former long-term support. That's the popular 3.1. That's ASP.NET Framework 3.1. So recently I tried to work with the newer long-term support 6 and the standard version, which is 7. And I noticed that there are a couple of structural changes, especially as one issue I had was concerning the startup file and the program.cs file. So I'm not going to be coding everything from scratch because I do not want this video to be too long. So I will just be going through the code, and I would be providing a link to the entire code in the description so that you can download it and look at it on your own. So I want this video to be very short. So if I were to code it from scratch, I'll be making mistake debugging and it will take too long. So let me just quickly go through the file. And one thing I will say is that the reason why I can still use my startup file and the program.cs and the likes is because of there's an extension that I use that made it so easy, and that's I added it to Nuget package under installed. Just add Microsoft.Owin and you'll be good to go. So you need to add this extension if you are using the updated version of the framework and you want to make use of your startup file. Yeah, so you need to add this. To put more perspective to this particular program that I am working on was actually created with version 3.1, but it needed to be updated before I could use it on this newer framework. So it's something that needs to be considered. So this is the this contains our model. So our course ID, course name, and the rating just tells us the kind of fields that we have. Then this is our service. Just give me a moment to move this away. Yeah, so this is our service, which contains our database. So I have some other versions of this program that uses, you see the database name, the password, and the likes. But because I will be pushing this to GitHub, I updated it to make use of connection string. So that will be the only file that I will not be pushing. And this is the connection string over here. So that I'm using to authenticate my database. So this is from Azure database. If you add a database installed, also you can also have access to a connection string like this, and it will work the same way. So I'm putting this. So I know people can see the connection string, but I have a network policy that only allows my IP address to be able to connect to the database. So even with this connection string, except you know my IP address, you wouldn't be able to have access to the database. So we have this. Then for our program.cs, we also have this. I would make all these codes available. So I wouldn't want to make this video too long. I just want to go through the core aspects. So these are the packages, the Nuget packages that we added. And this is just the structure of my my output, what would be visible on the web page. So let me just show you. I'll stop sharing from Visual Studio, and I just want you to see what my database content looks like. So let me go to SQL Management Studio. Let me go to my Management Studio. Just give me a moment. Yeah, so this is the Management Studio that is connected to the Azure database. So I already ran a command and it gives me the content. I can add more to this and you will see that it is live. So just for the sake of as a proof of concept, so let me add let me just add let me add certified ethical hacker course. I think that's CEA. I can't remember the course code now, but let's just say it is let's just call it CH. Then I'll call it certified ethical hacker. So I want it such that when I run my Visual Studio, we are going to see what we have here. So yeah, so I'm inserting now. You can see that this is a new one. CH. Let me just Google the course code for CH. Just hope this video wouldn't be so long. Okay, 31250. Um 31250. Yeah. So we have an ID, name, and our rating. Let me give it 4 points. Let me give it 4.8. Yeah, so let me execute this. Yeah, so now if I should select all from course, you can see the CH that has been added, and this will be reflected in the Azure database, obviously, because I'm connected to the Azure database. So let me run the code in Visual Studio, and hopefully what we recently added will be reflected over there. So let me stop sharing. I would run my code in Visual Studio, then I will share the screen of the output. Uh, so let me share Visual Studio first. Then I will run the code and we'll see that it works. Yeah, so it's running. It's running. It's going to take some time. That's one thing about Visual Studio and why I always prefer to use Visual Studio Code, which is way faster, even for ASP projects. So it's done running already. So let me stop sharing and reshare my Edge database, my Edge browser rather. Yeah, so you can see what we recently added. It's reflected here. You can see it. So let me stop sharing and let me share what we have in my Azure so that we'll just see what we have. So this is the database server over here in Azure. This is the database server. And this is the database which we connected to. So it's very interesting, and this is a quick way of modifying your code. I'll make everything available, the code available in the description, so that when you go through it, you see how it differs from what is available in 3.1. Because if you have a 3.1 ASP project and the structure, it's structurally different from what we have in the new LTS version. So you need to go through some processes to ensure that you follow the coding syntax and semantics of the newer version. So that's just what I wanted to share, and have a nice day.